Race and gender have played a role in whether you obtain special privileges or not. White supremacy and patriarchal society are the dominant in the United States. In my last presentation, I talked about how race was an important factor from the article Black Trash by Charles Mills. He explains how the color of the body was stigmatized. The black body was perceived to not have a brain. On the other hand, the white body was perceived to have a brain. The idea of having a brain was that they had knowledge. The blacks were classified as not having intelligence. They were only capable of doing work where intelligence was not required. This stigmatization brought them to believe it, and the blacks worked in low, skilled, and dangerous jobs. Another article that can relate is Justice Work in the Ghetto Poor by Tommy Selby. In his article, he describes what the word ghetto means for the minorities, where primarily blacks live with high concentration of poverty is formed. Many African Americans do not work, therefore why their neighborhoods remain poor. Also, joblessness is commonly reported to increase crime rate, welfare dependency, and broken homes. One reason they are not able to move, social mobility, is because they do not finish school or go to school to be educated to obtain a better job. Another article that can relate is Colored Property and White Backlash by David Fraud. He explains how white and blacks were segregated. The whites were able to have good jobs because they were being well educated and had the resources. On the other hand, blacks did not. How were blacks going to be educated if they did not have the resources to do so? If they were being segregated to have equal opportunities as the whites did. Some of the whites were poor, but if they were white, they were still different from the blacks, even though both were poor. This classifies the African Americans as second-class citizens because their rights and opportunities were inferior to those of the dominant group in society. Not only are African Americans classified as second-class citizens, but also women. Going back to the article Black Trash, it states feminist theories have pointed out that since white women have traditionally been seen as more corporeal than their fellow white males, the body politic has figured as males. Men, as traditional creatures, are sufficiently detachable from their bodies to carry out intellectual activities. When I read this, I understand that males are better than females. Yes, women have a body, but males are more capable than women to do intellectual activities. This quote can relate to the article What is Justification by Lina Hadauki. The definition of justification is a notion central to feminist theory. It can be roughly defined as seeing or treating a person, usually a woman, as an object. Martha Nussbaum has identified 7 features that are involved in the idea of treating a person as an object: instrumentality, denial of autonomy, interdependence, fungibility, liability, ownership, and denial of subjectivity. If women aren't able to handle intellectual activities, then what are they able to do, even though they do have a body? In the article by Mills, it said that the female body has traditionally been seen as apolitical, that the space belongs in the domestic household, for example, reproducing children. Therefore, it relates to the article by Linda Pedalki because she talked about how women are seen as objects, and in the article Mills, there was given an example that Linda is trying to explain in her article, that women are seen and treated as objects. Women are seen and treated as objects for males because they do they are not smart. This also made me think that women have to depend on males because according to society, women rules in the domestic household. This also classifies women as second-class citizens because they do not have all rights. They are considered the weaker sex and less capable. Also, the setting features that Nussbaum mentioned can fit in with the minorities because they are also seen and treated as objects. For example, as I mentioned before, they are given the bad jobs that the whites do not want to do. Women and minorities are both objectified and considered second-class citizens. These articles were very interesting to read and also hard to understand some of the concepts. It gave me more understanding about the dilemmas in the past that minorities went through and theories that I have not heard of. In order to stop criticizing and being judgmental of others, we first need to respect ourselves and be open-minded.